But first, before we get into the episode, we need to issue a content warning. Due to the nature of the show, we will be discussing sensitive topics which could include murder, violence, sexual assault, domestic abuse, animal abuse, elder abuse, alcohol, drugs, racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, ableism, and more. Please take this into account when deciding when, where, and if to listen. Hello and welcome to Looking for a Man in His 30s, a Criminal Minds podcast. I'm Emma.
And I'm Sara, and today we'll be discussing Season 1, Episode 22, The Fisher King Part 1, which premiered on May the 10th, 2006. And sadly, it's the last episode of this season.
I know, Sara. And sadly, it also ends on quite a devastating cliffhanger for us.
Yeah.
For me and you specifically.
Yeah.
But first, let's have a little chat.
Yeah.
So, my parents are returning home in 2 days.
Yay!
Which means, finally, someone can help me sort out this goddamn window light situation.
Yeah. Hopefully it will be resolved by Season 2.
Yes, exactly. It's only taken us 22 episodes, some of which were recorded multiple times.
Yes. And if you recall, the first 4 were recorded in my very dark bedroom.
So I was just half in absolute pure white.
Yeah.
And Sara is just in shadows.
Just like a shadow monster. It's like,
Exactly. So the first 4 episodes, the first 4 episodes, I'm pretty sure they look like they are worse than a student film.
To be fair, it was our first time and we're still learning as we go, so.
Yes.
But by Season 5, we'll be pros.
Yeah, that's it, Sara. That's it. By Season 5, Emma will not every episode go, do you know, I don't think the lighting's right. Let me do something. Let me just peg something up, by the way. I'm just praying that the blanket will hold. Because I pegged it up with like little craft pegs and I was like,
See how it goes.
Sara,
yeah.
Do you want to tell us how your dad's training course has gone? Because this, I have been getting recaps of throughout it.
Yes.
And it will honestly be a very light part before we get into the episode and the real true crime.
So, my dad works as a security guard. And the company he currently works for, they're outsourcing the security to another company. So, therefore, in order to switch over to the new company, all the security staff have to go on training courses.
You know, to do
mostly
the job.
For like licensing and stuff, and like first aid training, etc. So he gets informed a few weeks ago that his training course was on a specific week, which was last week. So they give him the location, and then I work out, right, it's 15-mile drive from here to there. I can drop you off, my mum can pick you up. We're working it that way. So we have the whole week planned of how we were going to get him there, get him back, etc. So I take him on the Monday morning. So it's a 30-mile round trip for me, take him there, drop him off, come back.
You've forgotten the bit where they said, oh, by the way, come to the initial store to check in first.
That too. Good point. Thank you for reminding me.
Which is adding an extra half hour onto the commute.
So yes, I had to take him to work so he could clock in order to get paid for this training. Then take him 15 miles to the location where the training was supposed to be at. Then come home myself. And then I get a phone call about 2 hours later. Hi, we're sat here. The trainer hasn't turned up. I was like, oh, that's a bit weird. Keep me informed. So he's like, right, I will do. An hour goes by. I get another phone call. So it turns out this is not the location where the training is being held. It is a The training is, for some reason, they've consolidated it from different locations to one location, which was around an hour and a half drive, I'd say, from the location where I dropped him off at. Bear in mind, this is halfway through the day. And by the time I could get to him and then get him over to the actual place, it would have been near enough the time that he was going to leave anyway. And B, he'd missed a whole morning of training. So he contacted his manager, and the others who was training with him contacted their managers. And the decision was made they were just going to go home, and the managers will speak to like the training people and sort it out, and etc. So the next day, well, later that evening, he gets a message at first saying, "Oh yeah, your training, you can go tomorrow. It's going to be in this location, yada yada yada." In the next breath, literally less than 5 minutes later, he gets another message. Actually, no, they've cancelled it and they're going to reschedule yours for another date. So, and then by the way, the shifts that you were supposed to do this week, you have to come and do them.
Which is ridiculous because your dad works nights. The training is during the day, so he'd already altered his sleep schedule to account for that.
So luckily, he managed to get one guy he knows to cover one of the dates, and he just worked the other two. Because he only does part-time anyway. Then get to Saturday just gone. Today's Tuesday. And he gets a message. Oh, so your training's been rescheduled. You start on Monday. And what location? The original location I took him to last week.
Okay.
But it turns out it's actually there this week. It just apparently last week there was an issue and they changed it, but forgot to tell the people who were attending the course.
Odd.
So that's fun.
Odd move.
So thankfully, when it's today, all was well. Luckily, this time he's gone with people he works with, so they managed to give him a lift there and back. I just have to pick him up from his store. So less travel for me. Swings around the base, but very annoying. And we were very pissed off last week.
Actually, I have something else to say.
Oh,
Sara has betrayed us, listeners. Sarah has watched the entire of season 2. She binged it in a weekend. This recap podcast is supposed to be that I know what's coming, and Sarah is reacting to it blind.
But I'll probably forget by the time we get right into it, so it's okay.
But now she knows Deluded, she knows the Morgan storyline, she knows about Elle.
Yes, I do. But I'll have to rewatch it anyway because I probably forgot by now. Literally, I could probably not. I couldn't even tell you what half the season's about.
Okay, fine then.
To be fair, I had it on in the background whilst I was doing other stuff. So.
Okay, but I'm just saying it's a betrayal. She's supposed to be reacting to this without any prior knowledge.
Take me to trip. Oh, actually, can Derek Morgan arrest me, please? Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll be right back with the episode recap after this short break.
Welcome back, and now we're on to Emma with the episode recap. So Emma, wheels up.
Wheels up. So we open on what looks like a sort of creepy mansion. There's ivy growing up the walls. There's only one light on in the entire house, even though it's like 1,000 windows.
Yeah.
If I'm honest, like, it looks sort of like a colonial era style house, or at least one that has been built in that style.
Yeah.
But sadly, we don't have the time for me to marvel at architectural styles because we cut to a young blonde woman lying on a bed as a figure, all in shadows, observes her and then starts to touch her. Creepy.
Yeah.
And you can see from the hand that he's using to touch her arm that he's got some sort of severe scarring situation. It looks like burning on the hand.
Yeah.
So immediately you're like, this woman is being held against her will. This is Criminal Minds. It's not going to end well. That guy is the unsub, and thus ends a 2-minute episode of Criminal Minds.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
But it actually gets more disturbing because he presents a curved blade and starts to stroke it against her.
Yeah.
And I don't love that.
No.
Luckily, the episode immediately cuts to the break area in the bullpen, where Elle is making coffee and discussing the holiday that she and Morgan are just about to go on at the resort that Morgan's friend manages in Jamaica. Apparently, it's nothing but young, beautiful adults looking to make vacation memories.
I love how they worded that. You know what they're going for.
Oh, yeah. All I thought about was those 18 to 30 holidays that you used to see promoted all the time, but I genuinely haven't seen since I was 18.
Yeah, strange that. They still go on, and obviously it's just advertised differently now, I think.
Maybe, yeah.
But you can always guarantee it that the UK people will go to, like, Magaluf, Pineapple.
Yeah. These are the destinations that Sara will be at this summer.
Hell no.
You don't want to do shots and then dance on the beach.
No.
No, I don't.
Because I don't fit in the 18 to 30 bracket anymore, so. What is shit?
I mean, neither do I, but I'm sure they have ones for people who are middle-aged, apparently, because that's what we are. Do you know what? Oh my God, I have something really stupid to tell you. So, as part of some of my volunteering, there are young people there. Not young people like teenagers, like young people like in their mid-20s. And in my head, I'm like, yeah, we're kind of the same age. There's not that much of a difference. And then somehow I keep having weird tech problems with my phone solely while I'm around them.
Oh dear. And
it's like, I want to be like, no, I'm only 35. I'm basically one of you. And they're like, oh, we were born after the millennium. Wanting. Remember on Friday how I set off my emergency alert?
Oh yeah, and I got an SOS message.
Yeah. So I don't know exactly how that happened. It was because I think I was taking photos a lot at the exhibition. So I think I'd been like closing my phone a lot, and I just pressed the thing and I was like, oh crap. And then I'd forgotten you were on my SOS list. So I'd texted the people I thought were on it, and then you responded, and I was like, well, shit, I don't have time to check who's actually on it. So I just put up a WhatsApp status saying, if you saw that, I am fine, don't worry. And then, oh my goodness, one of the young people liked it, and I was like, fucking hell. Just basically, I look at them and I think we're the same age, and they look at me and they think, oh my God, it's starting already.
Yeah.
So turns out the team is going away for 2 whole weeks. And as you know from a previous episode, Hotch can't even get his birthday off. So I'm wondering how the entire team got 2 weeks at the same time.
Yeah, that ain't gonna work.
Morgan even jokes about it, saying that it's good the entire team got the break at the same time, because otherwise the FBI would find some reason to call them in.
Yes, they would.
I think that's what you call foreshadowing.
Yeah, just a little.
Now, we get the confirmation that, as I said in a previous episode, they do have other teams. So why can Hotch not spend his birthday with his wife and young son?
Knows.
Like, just give him the next 12 hours.
I think just Gideon was a workaholic, so.
Yeah, it's like Gideon.
So he's like, my team are on call all the time.
Yeah, but the thing is, as we've already established, Gideon doesn't need a team. So he may as well just be like, okay, I'm on call the entire time. Yeah. We don't need Hotch for this, guys. Don't worry. Let's go. So Elle and Morgan's dreams of a holiday are quickly broken when Reed walks by. He looks very stressed for a man about to have a 2-week break.
Oh.
But we do get what I think is the first actual time in the series that Morgan calls Reed pretty boy.
Yay!
Oh, we've been waiting so long, Sarah.
We waited the whole entire season.
We have. So Morgan is inviting Reed on the holiday again with them, and he jokes that even Reed might get a little loving out there. And sorry, Morgan, who was it that got the actress to kiss them a few episodes ago? Was it you? No?
No.
The really hot actress kissed Reed. Oh, yeah. It's one of those things that you get in TV shows a lot where they're like, this is the nerdy, ugly character. And it's like, Matthew Gray Gubler was a runway model.
Yeah.
Like, I think you guys, it's one of those things that you see on American TV where they just do not have realistic looking people.
Yeah, all if you know, most of these shows, they're all like, how do I word it?
Hot.
Yeah, they're all
it's
like
conventionally attractive. They've had like, because some of it is that, you know, they've had work done, like not like a boob job and stuff like that, but maybe like they've had veneers put in.
Yeah.
On British TV, you see people all the time that look like normal people. Yeah. Like some of them are more attractive than others, but they look like normal people. Yeah. Because I think that there's a real pressure on Americans, even like American soap stars, to look
a certain way.
Yeah. Whereas, like, if you look at EastEnders, okay, some of them really fucking hot. Yeah. But they still look like normal people because they haven't had procedures done to give them that Hollywood face or that soap opera face.
Like what I've seen a comparison before. So like, say a show in America where it's like based on high school students, and they all they just stepped off like a catwalk or something. Compared to like UK shows where, for example, Waterloo Road, where it's based in their high school. Yeah. And they look like normal kids. Yeah. Like the ones that you would have went to school with yourself.
Yeah. But they're not all like rocking full extensions.
Yeah, like full makeup and Yeah,
because it's like, even if I'd been allowed to wear makeup to school, like that would have been so much effort. How early are you kids getting up to put makeup on?
So I used to wear a bit like year 10, 11, but not like full face.
No. The only thing I did was hair streaks, and I got in trouble because that broke the
oh dear
dress code.
It's okay. I had many detentions and report cards, so.
And I once did my nails, and that broke the thing as well. We're only supposed to have clear nail polish. But it's like, sorry, does my nail polish or the streaks in my hair affect my ability to learn? I don't think the weight of the nail polish affects my hand and I can no longer take notes.
Yeah. So I broke the dress code a few times. Yeah. There was this guy, I had like this black mini skirt that clearly had like white circles.
Okay, yeah.
Sides. Completely not dress code, but no one batted an eyelid, so fuck knows how I got away with that one.
Anyway, back to the episode.
Yeah.
So Reed doesn't even entertain the invitations and mumbles that he's just got to go home and walks out without really actually saying goodbye to them. Or like as he's walking out, he's like, bye, does not look at them. Morgan asks Elle if she thinks Reed's okay, and she says he looks about the same as I would if I had to spend 2 weeks with my family. But before we get any time to dwell on how Reed is, Hotch is coming through and is ecstatic about the mundanity of family life.
Oh,
this man looks thrilled to do things like clean the garage and fix a broken drain pipe. And when you put it like that, I guess hunting serial killers doesn't seem that bad. Because I wouldn't want to clear out my garage. I'd much rather track a serial killer. It'd probably be safer as well.
Yeah.
So, also on his way out is Gideon, who is going to be at a remote cabin in the woods for 2 weeks, which I think is the start to a low-budget horror film.
Yeah.
And given how wild this episode gets, very fitting. Like, I genuinely think that you could have actually set a, like, mini horror film with each agent this episode.
Yeah.
Based on what happens to them. Now, Gideon is practically running towards the door. Do not call me for anything. Have a great time. You all deserve a break. Seriously, don't call. Like, he doesn't even allow them to say goodbye. He's just like, yeah, whatever, bye, on my way. And this is actually very funny because these characters, like, work is their thing.
Yeah.
Like, if it's 2 a.m. and they get called in on a case, they're going to be there.
Yeah.
If it's his birthday, Hotch is going to turn up, even though there are other people that could deal with this, or indeed his team without him.
Yeah.
Gideon had a skydiving accident and still turned up at work. He wasn't barely even late. And I'm pretty sure Garcia would have preferred he stayed home.
Yeah.
Now, we're cutting back to the creepy mansion from the beginning because there's a lot... Well, it's a roaring fire, but the mantle is really intricate carved wood and gilded sculptures. So you can tell this is a very old, very expensive property. And shit. Yeah. This unsub has been following the team. He has pictures of every single agent, like, in their regular everyday lives. So not great.
No.
And your first thought is, oh my god, he's going to target them. He knows where they spend their time. He's going to kill them all. He then answers a really ornate, old-style telephone. Like, it's not only one that has, like, the dial on there, but it's also, it honestly looks like one of the first telephones they ever made.
Yeah, like from the early, like, 1900s or something.
Yeah, it does. And he finishes the call quite quickly. He's like, thank you, and then hangs up. So I feel like the person on the other end of the phone barely got a chance to say anything.
No.
And then he presses an intercom system, which connects him with the basement. So that he can tell his captive he has to go out for a while. And rather menacingly, this will all end soon, one way or another.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you didn't have to tell her you were going out. Like,
yeah.
What was she going to do? How was she going to react? Oh, can you pick up some Jolly Ranchers on your way back?
Don't forget the milk.
Immediately upon hearing this, the woman throws herself up in the bed and tries to get herself out of the restraints that hang her ankles, but it's not working. They're not breaking. She can't break the bed. She tries everything, but there's no way for her to get free, so she ends up throwing herself back down on the bed and sobbing. And we are now back with the opening quote from Gideon, which is, writer Elbert Hubbard said, "No man needs a vacation so much as the man who has just had one." All of this is as a voiceover while Morgan and Elle are relaxing on deck chairs and getting served fancy drinks with umbrellas in them. And then, because Criminal Minds Wiki had a list of the music used this episode, this song is by Reggae Revolution, and it's Come With the Reggae Music. So Morgan jumps out of his deck chair to greet the friend that got them the great deal. This is Gerard Dupree. The men are teasing each other, and Dupree appreciates how attractive Elle is. And it's like, yes, you have eyes. She is clearly gorgeous. And Morgan very quickly dips out of this chat with his old friend in order to speak to a very attractive woman on the beach. And Gerald's got to get back to work, so Elle is going to be flirting with a frisbee player. Now, back to Hotch. He is clearing out a garage which looks less full of crap than mine does, and I don't even hunt serial killers for a living.
Yeah.
What's my excuse? Currently, there's a pallet in my garage. I don't know why it's there. So every time I have to go out there, I have to move this thing out of the way. It's just been there for so long that now I'm afraid to ask why it's there.
Yeah. Can I just point out he's dressed like my dad in the 90s?
He is. It's because this isn't that far off the 90s and he's a dad.
It's like the jeans and the polo shirt combo with a t-shirt underneath.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
2000.
So Hotch is picking up a really old pirate hat, which I'm amazed it stayed in that good condition considering how old we find out it is.
Yeah.
And Haley comes in with a drink. She tries to convince him that he is supposed to be dumping stuff, not examining them. But the thing I have to say is, if you wanted to dump stuff, you really have to do it yourself. You can't expect people to be like, oh, I won't look through this and see what it is.
Yeah.
She asks if he really wants to keep the memory of a bad performance in the school play, but makes a deal with him that he can keep it if he can give her a good reason by the end of the day. Cut to Gideon at the cottage making what looks like an incredible meal while listening to In the Mood by Glenn Miller. Things that you do not expect from Gideon, like knowing how to do a really fancy dinner. Something you do expect from Gideon, though, is that he has a security camera set up around the cabin, and one of the kitchen cupboards opens to reveal the monitor feeds from 4 different angles. There's a car pulling up, and I thought Gideon was going to be alone at a cabin in the woods.
Obviously not.
But we don't get to find out who it is because we are cutting straight back to a really bad CGI game. I think even the 2005 graphics, it looks like it's set in a Ren Fair-esque universe. At least the female characters have armor that looks like it will actually protect them.
Yeah.
Unlike
although the graphics look just as bad as the first Lara Croft game.
Yeah.
Very scary.
Back in the 90s.
Yeah.
But yeah, the armor is actually metal plates. It's not just you have these 2 bits of fabric covering your nipples and then basically a short skirt, which I think is almost every fantasy game that I've ever played. So the text on the screen reads, "My lady Penelope, would thou allow your humble servant to adventure with thee again?" Garcia is wondering why the real world can't be like this and begins to flirt with Sir Nath, as we learn him to be called. JJ enters without knocking because, yes, Garcia is at work again, playing a game at work. And at the only office job I ever had, I got in trouble for checking my Facebook on company time.
Oopsie.
And she's just there allowed to play a freaking RPG game?
Why not?
And her job is a lot more important than mine. Oh, am I 5 minutes late with the marketing article? And we learn from the conversation that JJ and Garcia do not get the same vacation days as the rest of the team.
So sad.
Garcia apparently doesn't have enough to do, so is playing a game. Meanwhile, JJ has to continue to look through crime cases in order to make sure that when they get back, they actually have work to do. And if I was JJ, I would honestly be really pissed at this minute.
Me too.
All of my other colleagues get to go away for 2 weeks and not even think to check in. The one colleague that's still here is playing video games. What the fuck am I doing? Where did I take 2 weeks off? So, JJ is kind of going to Garcia, well, you know, who is this guy? You don't know who he is. You don't know what he does. You don't even know if it's a he, which is a slightly, it's a low level, but it's slightly homophobic. JJ is basically teasing Garcia about having a crush on a fictional character. And Garcia says that Sir Naif isn't fictional. He's an online persona of a real person. And says that Naif turns up when he says he will. They talk for hours. She has his undivided attention. When was the last time JJ had a date go that well? Ooh.
Awkward.
So JJ very quickly changes her tune and asks if Sir Naif has a fictional brother or uncle or grandfather. She's not picky. Cut to Bennington Sanitarium in Nevada. We see a day room where patients are playing cards and board games and reading, before the camera swings round to reveal Reed standing in the doorway, looking at an older woman we later find out is his mum. And oh my fucking god, she's played by Jane Lynch.
Yay!
Jane Lynch, my beloved.
Legend.
So one of the staff stops to talk to Reed, and we find out that his mum has schizophrenia. When he asks how she's doing, the staff member says she has good days, she has bad days, but what makes her most happy is hearing from you. He sends her daily letters, daily.
No.
Frankly, my parents do not get a text from me once a day, even when we're not in the same house. So a full letter a day, when he is doing a very important job and I spend 3 hours a night watching telly. I think this is where we find out that every member of the BAU, apart from Garcia, is way more organised than I am.
And me.
Yeah.
100%.
Like, I have definitely played games on my phone during the middle of a work day.
Oh,
it's alright, I work for myself now, so
yeah, you're that.
No one can fire me. Now, apparently Reed has been telling his mum about the cases that he's been solving, and I feel like that is breaking some kind of code for FBI agents. I don't know exactly how much you're allowed to reveal about your job.
Yeah.
Like, especially specifics on the cases. So it's not even like she's reading these letters and then putting them away. She's writing them down in her journals, like they're stories that happened to him, like it's an adventure. And also, just as an aside, I do not know much about schizophrenia, but I don't know if it's the wisest idea to write to your schizophrenic mother about the horrible cases you deal with every sort of day, because I feel like that would be perhaps upsetting to her, perhaps scare her, and she might think that her son is in danger. So,
who knows?
Who knows? I guess if she really did become disturbed by anything that Reed was telling her, the staff would be like, hi, can you just tell your mum about the last book you read rather than about the vicious murder of children? The staff member says that Reed's mum, we learn her name is Diana. I don't think in this episode, but in the next episode. The staff member says she will be so happy to see you, but Reed is like, yeah, no, I'm going. I think she needs rest, and I think the thing is that Spencer really can't deal with the reality of having put his mum in a sanitarium, even though it's probably the safest place for her.
Yeah, he's probably still struggling with it.
Yeah, he's probably very, very upset about it. And it is hard to look at someone you love and know that you couldn't be the person to give them the care that they needed.
Yeah, and I think he's been a while on it since he last saw her or something.
Well,
I'm sure it's mentioned.
He's 24 now, and I don't know when the last time he would have seen her would have been, but spoiler alert, he had to commit his mum. I think that's the term.
Yeah.
He had to commit his mum, and I think he was probably about 18.
Yeah.
So the staff member is trying to get Reed to stay, but he just hands over a book by his mum's favourite author and says, "Can you give that to her? Goodbye." Oh. Thankfully, we're cutting to the island where both Morgan and Elle are dancing with very attractive people, and it's clear that they're going to make some lovely vacation memories.
Yeah. In the bedroom.
I didn't say it, she did.
Yes.
And it's actually nice to get a glimpse of these two bonding outside of work, and very good that they are getting some time to themselves, some space from dealing with all the shit that they have to deal with. And the music playing in the background is Clear Night by Maimon and the Mongoose Band.
Never.
It's all right. I wouldn't have done this so often if I hadn't been putting down the music because of how Gideon's paramour responds to it.
Yeah.
Paramour, a very good word. Cut to the Hotchner house, and Haley is coming downstairs after putting Jack to sleep. Hotch is sprawled on the couch reading an old yearbook, and I know that this is far from the point of the episode, but do you see how big their living dining area is? I know this is on TV and they have to have the large open concept floor plans because it makes it easier to have cameras and lighting and mics and everything else into film. But you can really tell from the style of home where we are in history. It's 2006. America's at war, so it's buy, baby, buy. If you don't buy a house you can't afford, then the terrorists are winning. Sara is fully making a cut for it motion, like she wants me to stop talking about early 2000s economics before the subprime mortgage crash. Look it up. It's probably why you can't get a house now. All right, back to the episode. Haley and Hotch are getting a little flirty as they reminisce about the start of their relationship in the theatre club rehearsal, which is how Hotch ended up playing the worst fourth pirate in history.
Oh,
I know.
He tried.
He gets permission to keep the hat, and the yearbook is quickly discarded for some romantic adult time.
Yes.
This will keep it monetized on YouTube, won't it, Sara?
Yeah.
But this isn't one of those sexy HBO shows, so we are cutting straight away to Gideon and a very attractive and appropriately aged woman at the cabin. By which I mean, thankfully, this is not the type of show that will depict a man in his late 50s and a woman in her mid-20s and pretend that's a normal age gap.
Yeah.
So they are flirting, they are drinking wine by candlelight, and they are dancing to music they just don't make anymore. A direct quote from the paramour. I was just about to be like, I don't remember her name, and I think it is mentioned, but the song playing is You Go to My Head by Billie Holiday. Now, before anything PG-13 can happen with them, we cut back to the very naked Haley and Hotch on the couch under a blanket.
And you can tell what they've been doing.
It's clear that it's the middle of the night and someone does not know the etiquette about phoning a landline after 9 p.m.
to be absolutely clear, if you don't know, if you call my goddamn landline past 9 p.m., either someone is dying or you're about to be.
Yeah. We don't have a landline anymore, so jokes on that.
Yeah, we still do, because we have it that, you know, the hospital can ring there and leave a message.
Yeah. Makes sense.
But I think that when our line rental contract ends, we might actually ditch it. So Hotch picks up the phone without really looking, and without any preamble, the caller starts telling him not to waste time on the first victims because they were unrepentant bad men. And boy, Hotch is like, wait, what, huh? Who's this? Why? What's wrong? And I'm just like, what's wrong with the actual FBI with their spare team of BAU profilers?
Yeah.
Now, this is a very cryptic and creepy phone call where essentially this guy is saying, hey, I've killed some men. Also, here's a riddle to solve. And if you were being woken up in the middle of the night by this, it's going to be a lot more scary than if someone rings at like 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
We learn that she, don't know who she is, but she is the important one. There are no hints as to who she is, only that everything starts at the beginning, which sounds like a very 2012 Mumford & Sons song. Haley starts to stir as Hotch is asking, who is this? And presumably, could you just ring the police?
Yeah.
And the cryptic voice is still going, the youngest holds the key. You must help him save her. Great, eh? Okay, now we're back to the resort where Morgan and Elle are. We see Gerald Dupree escorting the police up a hallway, which is covered in blood.
Yeah.
He says his front desk got a call about a murder in a room, and at first he sent security up there, which is odd.
Yeah.
I would say. And security get up to the floor and they're like, oh no, this is definitely not a hoax. This is definitely not like, it sounds like someone's being murdered. This is definitely like, someone has been murdered. There's a lot of blood absolutely everywhere.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, cool, I'm calling the police straight away. And honestly, this is the best decision that anyone in Criminal Minds has ever made.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks like there's a murder. I'm going to ring the police. The cops open one of the hotel doors that has a load of freaking blood around it, and they are immediately met by the sight of a clearly dead body. But keeping with the editing style of this episode, we are skipping straight back to Garcia playing games on her laptop at work. I think I have lost count of the amount of times I have said, sorry, does Garcia not have stuff to do at work? Like, I think it's a running theme that Garcia is clearly not being utilised to her full potential if she can just play games at work. But soon, Garcia's game is interrupted by a hacking attack. The screen starts to read all work, no play on her personal laptop. Before she can do anything about that, it is spread to all of the FBI computers, and oh my god. You see, this might be why you're not supposed to play games at work.
No.
Cut to the cabin. Gideon is alarmed by the fact that his security alarm is going off, and he's not expecting anyone. So when he checks the cameras and sees a van coming up that he doesn't recognize, he takes out his gun and tells his girlfriend to go wait in the bedroom. Over the next couple of minutes, we cut between Gideon's cabin and the resort as police are following the blood trail right to one hotel room. Gideon has got a parcel, and clearly psychotic unsubs have a better delivery method than Every, because with all the love in the world, they can't even deliver stuff unbroken and on time to my local Tesco. If I had ordered something to a remote cabin in the woods, frankly, there's no way Every's going to get there.
No.
So, anyway, On top of the parcel, first of all, there's an envelope which says "Save her," and that contains a baseball card of a man who is apparently Nellie Fox. His girlfriend comes out to watch him, and she's like, "What is this?" I don't know. This is the first time I'm looking at it as well. As Gideon opens the parcel, his girlfriend fully retches and screams because, oh my god, that's a human head. And the lack of reaction that Gideon gives to seeing a human head delivered to his cabin makes me think he's been doing this job too long.
He's seen too much shit, man.
Cut to the resort, and the police are going into the room where the blood was found outside, seizing a woman from the bed, throwing her down on the floor, pulling her arms behind her back to handcuff her, and oh my god, it's Elle. This ends the shortest episodes of Criminal Minds in history. Elle is the unsub. She's secretly been the unsub all along. Oh, you want the real episode? Okay, cool. We'll continue after this short break.
And welcome back. And eagle-eyed viewers may spot that my outfit has slightly changed. It is very cold and my body cannot regulate its own temperature. Therefore, I need warmth. Anyway, enough about me. Back to you, Emma.
Sara lives in the north with a chronic illness.
Yeah.
It's hard for her.
It's not fun.
So, back to the episode. Gideon is escorting his girlfriend out of the cabin and says, "I'll drive you back to town," because having just seen a decapitated head, she's in no position to drive herself. Which is cool, but how's she getting her truck back?
Yeah.
Never mind. He tells the agent who has arrived at the cabin to try and identify the dead body, or I suppose just the head.
Yeah.
And the cop is like, "Do you know anyone from Jamaica? That's where the postmark is from."
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm actually a profiler. This is actually my job. The first thing I would have thought is, oh, let me look at the postmark. I don't know what he's expecting Gideon to say.
I know.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I have an aunt there.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be just like her to send me a human head along with the baseball card.
Why not?
Can't believe I've made all this fuss about nothing. I'll ring Rita later and say thank you for the gift. Gideon is in no mood to entertain anything this guy is saying. He's like, yeah, I did see where the postmark was from. I don't know anyone from Jamaica. I do think about things before dragging other agents in. Can you just find out who the fucking head belongs to? Cutting back to the police department in Jamaica, Elle is handcuffed to a chair in the interrogation room, and the cop is asking her really dumb questions like, how did this blood get outside your door? I say dumb question because, as we learn mere seconds later, there's no blood inside the room. So to be clear, the police's narrative is that she murdered a guy, walked from his room to her room, smearing blood absolutely everywhere, walls, carpet. And then finally she gets to her door, wipes all the blood off onto the door like she's trying to fend off evil spirits. And then as soon as she steps over the threshold,
Nothing.
Yeah.
So you think they would have done like a test in her bathroom to see if she's like washed blood off?
Yeah.
Not just gone, oh, the trail ends there. She must be responsible.
Yeah, it seems pretty obvious to me that the reason the trail ends there is because the person who was smearing all the blood doesn't have a key to the room.
Yeah. But
because no matter how keen on detailed cleaning she is, there would be microscopic drops of blood on the carpet. Her clothes that she wore the night before.
Exactly.
Also, I don't know why this hotel hallway doesn't have CCTV.
I know, yeah.
It's like never brought up, but it's like this is 2005, 2006 even.
Sus.
Frankly, Sarah, none of it makes sense, and Elle is as annoyed as I would be.
Same.
The guy even asks her, oh, where is the victim's head? So she sarcastically says, oh, I must have dropped it on the way in. If this guy was talking to me, I would scream. And also, throughout all of this, Elle is just in the clearly very tiny pajamas that she wore to bed. Yeah. It's basically like a lace cami and very short shorts. I didn't even notice until my second look through of the episode when you see them from the side and you just see Elle's fully bare legs. I'm not even certain she has shoes on.
Oh dear.
And is it not customary to allow people to get dressed before you interrogate them? I'm not saying, okay, let them check in themselves at 9 a.m. I'm saying tell them to pull on a pair of jeans and a hoodie. One of the police comes in and gives the interrogating detective, we later learn his name is Detective St-Pierre. So gives Detective St-Pierre a crime scene photo, which shows the words "save her" in blood on the wall. And St-Pierre asks Elle, are you the her? Elle is like, again, I cannot stress this enough. I didn't know anyone was dead until your team dragged me out of bed in the middle of the night. As Elle looks at the photo of the crime scene, we get a transition shot to the actual crime scene, where Morgan is helping the detectives very much against their will. He's saying, we are FBI agents. We wouldn't do this. You've made a mistake. Elle is not a killer. The detective on site is quite snippy with Morgan and asks that if she called him for a consult, would he have said, oh yeah, the woman at the end of the blood trail, let her go? And again, I have to say that he might do if there was like no blood inside the room whatsoever.
Yeah.
Are there not crime scene units? Is there not anyone doing anything? At this point, I am hanging my head in my hands. Like, I don't understand what's going on. Morgan explains that Hotch is flying down from Virginia because God forbid that man is allowed to spend time with his wife and child, and that everything will be sorted out soon. Then, Gerard Dupree enters the room and tells Morgan and the detectives, hey, this guy who was staying here, his name was Marty. The detective's quite pissed that Morgan is being shared this information, even though Morgan is an FBI agent. I get that it's your case, but this guy is Morgan's friend, knows he's an FBI agent, and knows that he probably wouldn't bring a murderer with him on vacation.
Yeah.
So Marty Harris checked in a couple of days ago with Frank Giles, who has the adjoining room and is now not answering when the front desk calls. And this is a bit odd because I've definitely been in a hotel room where you can hear what's happening next door, even if the room's not adjoining. So how is this guy, Frank Giles, sleeping through the murder of his friend, the police finding the body and presumably investigating it, and multiple calls from the front desk to be like, hi, your friend's dead, could you come down, please? Like, one might almost think that if he's not dead too, he's the murderer.
Yeah.
And it's sort of weird that no one has brought this up before. Like, who is the guy staying in this room? Did he come with anybody? Because that would be my first question.
It's him.
But, you know, sometimes with the police, it takes a while. So Morgan is thankfully not wasting any more time on how the detectives here are running things, and instead goes right up to the adjoining room and kicks it open without even knocking. Oh, would you look at that? The room's clean. It doesn't even look like it's been slept in.
Oh.
Morgan turns back to the detective and says, hey, you might have a real suspect now. And she mumbles about getting like some crime scene unit in there, and it's like, I mean, bit late, but sure. Hey, this might just be where you find blood inside the room. And oh my god, I've got the theory. So Frank Giles kills Marty, who I keep thinking of as Marty Supreme because I've just seen that movie. So every time I went to put Marty, I was like, Marty Supreme. And I was like, no. So he kills Marty and then retraces his steps. So he kills Marty, walks down the hallway, gets blood on everything, and then walks back in the pattern that he's just walked.
Yeah.
So that you can't see that he's doubled back on himself. Enters into Marty's room, goes through the adjoining room, maybe even cleans up in Marty's shower.
Yeah.
Then walks through to his adjoining room, picks up a suitcase, and leaves through the door into the hallway.
Smart.
Big brain idea. Morgan rings the information superhighway, but Garcia is not having any of this. Especially when Morgan doesn't lead with Elle's been arrested, which I feel was the most important thing.
Yeah.
Garcia is dismantling computers manually in a way that looks slightly insane to me, but I don't know how to rebuild a computer, so. Now, genuinely, the funniest part of this episode, he rings her just expecting her to be like, yep, I'll give you a rundown, and flatly she's just like, no. Morgan is so confused. I don't think it helps that Garcia is spouting off a lot of technical jargon at him. Honeypot farms, UML kernel data packets, snort log. I don't know what you said. Do I know what any of those mean? No. Do I think it's really funny that Morgan takes the phone away from his ear while she's screaming that she will hack his IP address all the way back to the frickin' Stone Age to find this son of a bitch? And then she hangs up without letting him say anything else. So she's just, what the fuck's going on?
Like, she could have let him know that she'd been hacked instead of, like, going around the houses.
I just think this is so funny, because she's obviously clearly in the middle of it, and he's just like...
She's so stressed out.
What the hell is happening? A quarter to go.
Shit's going down.
So, cut to the bullpen. Gideon is coming in. JJ's trying to intercept him on the way to his office to be like, someone sent you a head? He says, from Jamaica, like that makes a difference in how horrific it was. Like, if it had been from Portland, he would have been like, oh, God. But now he's just like, no, it's just a head from Jamaica.
Random.
JJ informs him that Morgan and Elle are in Jamaica right now. There's a murder. The body's missing its head.
Ooh.
Now, I'm usually not partial to people who go, there are no coincidences.
But this is a coincidence.
They generally say, like, hey, everything is a conspiracy, and they want to tell you about the Illuminati. In this case, I will admit they're probably related. If you get sent a head in the post and someone you know is arrested and the murder that they're suspected of, the victim is missing his head, yeah, that's related. Turns out that Hotch went down there last night with bureau lawyers and a crime scene unit.
Oh.
Gideon, who is sort of treating JJ like his PA, says, get Hotch to call me, and then completely walks past her as he's doing that to have a word with the agent investigating the human head.
Yeah.
They don't have any leads, so Gideon tells them to talk to the Monterey Bay Police Department because they have a headless murder victim. And the way they treat this like a normal sentence that people have said, like, why are you acting so calm about one of your colleagues being framed for murder and you receiving a disembodied head? Elle's back in interrogation. The detective is asking her more stupid questions, like, what time did you go to bed? And she's like, I can't answer, dude. I was drunk. I had sex with a guy I just met. I don't remember what time I got back to the room. Luckily, at this moment, Hotch comes in and Elle is finally smiling. She's like, thank fuck, I'm being saved. Hotch tells Detective St. Pierre that the body was murdered before Elle and Morgan even got to Jamaica, according to rigor mortis of the body. And thankfully, he takes off his jacket so Elle can have something on that isn't, frankly, a tiny lace cami and shorts. Respectful king, we love to see it. So he tells the detectives in no uncertain terms, Elle and Morgan are coming home with me. They can help you investigate, but they will do it from Quantico.
Yeah.
And I'll admit, I've never been accused of murder while abroad, so I don't know how quickly that would sour me on the idea of enjoying the rest of my vacation. But they are one day into a fully paid-for vacation. I would say, hey, let them stay. They get fancy drinks, and someone else solves the crime for once.
2 birds, 1 stone.
Like, this is a murder that's happened in your jurisdiction, Detective St. Pierre. I'm going back home to my wife and son. I'll leave bureau lawyers here in case you decide to, for some reason, arrest one of my agents again. Elle and Morgan are going back to their holiday by the pool. See ya! Anyway, so they don't get that, because why would the BAU get a break?
No.
Now, Detective St. Pierre is not happy to be told that he arrested the wrong person, and it's like, well, do your job, mate. If she wasn't in the country when the murder took place, she's not guilty. And frankly, he just flings the handcuff keys across the table to her, which is quite rude.
Very.
Cut to the BAU offices. JJ is in her office. It looks like she should be on an episode of Hoarders from the amount of files she has piled up around her. It looks like if the rest of the team were ever to actually manage to take a 2-week vacation, at one point she would pull out a file and then just be buried underneath all of these crime scene cases, and no one would notice for like a week and a half.
Oh, bless her.
I'm sure she would tell you that it's organised chaos, but to me it just looks like chaos. She's telling Hotch to call Gideon, and she says, oh no, I better let him tell you, because, I mean, that's a story you want to tell yourself, isn't it? Like, you know me and my desire to tell people deeply upsetting stories at any time. I wouldn't want that ripped away from me. And then she's just about to open a parcel on her desk. Now, if my colleague had just received a parcel that had a human head in it,
yeah,
I wouldn't be like so keen to immediately open the box. I'd be like, maybe I should actually go ask someone if they want to look at it with me. Like, what am I going to find? A hand? A foot? JJ is much less scared than I am and finds a shadow box containing a yellow butterfly and a slightly odd quote, which sounds more like a threat. She will be searched for but never found. I don't actually know if that's a full quote, but creepy anyway.
Very, very creepy.
Cut to the sanatorium in Nevada. Reed is just about to go into the day room to see his mum, but one of the staff stops him and says, hey, you've got a parcel.
Oh dear.
Fucking hell. Reed has clearly not been told what happened to the rest of the team. And he opens up this padded envelope, which looks about the right size for like a finger or a tongue or an ear.
Yeah.
Anyway, thankfully, it's just an antique looking key.
It's a fancy key, to be fair.
It is. It's really pretty, really ornate. And there's a note attached which says, she will die unless you save her, Dr. Reed. Call Gideon. Ugh. We are back at Quantico. Gideon is in his office, and she said JJ is walking in to tell him about the strange parcel she's just received. And he is just mumbling, strange as a head in the middle of the night, which is objectively very funny. Like, no, of course not. So Gideon compares the text in the frame with the padded envelope that he received where it says save her, and decides that they are definitely linked. And at this point, there are many, many links. So what the hell is going on here? Again, the fact that he is more puzzled over the butterfly frame than the receiving a head says a lot about what they see every day.
Mm.
We cut to a scene of the blonde captive. Now we get shown that she is being kept in a dungeon. When the unsub presses the intercom, it goes down like a cross section of like all of the different floors. And so seriously, it looks like she's being kept like 7 stories underground. And it definitely looks like a dungeon. Like the wall is grey, it's got like green and black on it, so I think it's got various fuzzy things growing on it. And it makes perfect sense why she is coughing. She is definitely inhaling mold spores.
Oh yeah.
Cut to the BAU, Elle and Morgan are getting off a lift and Hotch is trying to get them to go home, get some sleep, have a shower. And I do feel that if your boss is going, hey, do you want to go home and have a shower? That's not necessarily a stunning endorsement on how you smell.
No.
Morgan is quite so stoic at this point. I'm here to do the job. I'm fine. Elle is fucking pissed. She snaps that she's not going to rest until they find Frank Giles. And if she hadn't just been arrested for murder, I do think she would end that sentence with, and I'll kill him myself. Luckily, JJ is coming up to them with the background on Frank Giles. Again, he doesn't seem to be a great guy. Long criminal record, manslaughter, robbery, rape. And I'm confused as to how he's not in prison. Because how long is a manslaughter sentence? Never mind. So I am confused as to how he's not in prison, but it turns out that Giles got the red eye from Jamaica last night, flew first to Florida and then to Arlington, Virginia.
Oh.
And if Garcia can track down an address, Elle will be right there to eviscerate this guy.
100%.
Oh, and we get some information on murder victim Marty Harris, also a criminal, specifically a fetish burglar, which I think means he steals underwear, and he's on the child sex offender registry. So, great guy all round. Gideon comes up to them to finish this little story with, yeah, and they've just confirmed that it was Marty's head I got in the post. Again, no one reacts to this. Hotch just repeats the lines he heard when he answered the phone the first time, where it was, don't waste time on the first victims, they were unrepentant bad men. But you must help the youngest save her. Gideon has spoken to Reed, and he says, I think they mean Reed, because he just received a funky key, and he is flying back right now. So in the conference room, the team are going over what they've got, writing down the clues, everything the killer gave them. And at this point, Sarah, me and you, we're going to play a game. We're going to take a minute to go through the stuff that was sent by the unsub and just essentially rank it from worst to best.
Ooh, I like it.
Like, what would be the worst thing an unsub could do? And what would be the kind of thing where you're like, yeah, that's fine. Don't mind that.
Yeah.
Okay, so to recap, he called Hotch at his home and made a vaguely threatening call.
Yeah.
Sent Gideon a package containing a human head and a 1963 Nellie Fox baseball card. Framed Elle for murder. Sent Reed a ornate-looking skeleton key. Sent JJ a shadow box with a vaguely threatening note and a dead butterfly, and hacked into Garcia's computer system and sent her the message, all work, no play. So, let's rank them worst to best, Sarah. What is your worst?
Best to worst?
No, worst to best.
Oh, worst to best.
What's the thing you would hate the most?
So the worst thing is obviously the head.
Okay.
So just, what the fuck?
So your thing is the head, even though you do get a cool baseball card with it.
Like, the baseball card's cool and all, but the fact that the head...
Okay.
No.
Okay,
One
fine
that.
So my worst would be being framed for murder, especially in a foreign country.
My second worst.
Because I would be like, oh, I think I'm going to get murdered. Whereas if you'd seen a head a lot of times...
No, but it's just a decapitated head.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fine.
Ew.
No judgment here, Sarah.
Blech.
I don't want to get framed for murder. You don't want to receive a head in the post.
Yes.
Don't worry. We'll set up the PO box so it's in Portsmouth. Right, so did you say your second worst was being framed for murder?
Yeah, so it'd go ahead, murder.
Okay, so my second worst would be the head. Because at least you get a cool baseball card that you liked.
Yeah.
And I would just be terrified to be, like, arrested abroad. Because you don't know if that guy was ever going to believe that Elle was innocent.
Yeah.
Next, vaguely threatening call, skeleton key, message and butterfly, and hacked into computer system.
I think the hacking.
Okay, that's next for you.
That's next for me.
Okay, my next one would be the vaguely threatening phone call at my home, because I'd be like, oh my god, this guy knows where I live. And my computer system is not linked to an FBI database.
Never
so if
mind.
someone hacks into my computer, I like pretty regularly run a backup on my hard drive. So I'd just be like, actually, it's kind of fine. So mine is the calling Hotch at his home. So what is your next one after the hacking into the...
So my next one would be the calling of the home.
Okay. We'll move that.
Who the fuck's calling me? Why are you calling? Send me a message. Then I may speak to you on the phone. Just
so my next one would be the hacking. That would be something that's... It's more inconvenient for me. My computer doesn't have sensitive data on that.
Yeah.
Okay. So next one, for me, it's the shadow box with the message and the butterfly. The message is creepy. Yeah. The message is creepy. I don't like dead butterflies. Near me, there's a natural history museum. And I remember going in as a child with like an aunt. And there was just a room where it just had butterflies pinned up everywhere. And that's honestly still in part of my nightmares. So,
well, fun fact, I'm most scared of live butterflies.
I just don't like seeing taxidermied animals. I know butterflies aren't taxidermied, but it creeps me out.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have the same two best things to receive.
Yeah.
A random ornate key and a butterfly that I would give away immediately.
I just give it to Jen, my sister.
Yeah. So as you can see, these aren't the same, you know?
No.
It's just, you know, when he's like, I'll get all of the members of the BAU to play this game. And it's like, yes. I think that you're not treating them all the same.
No.
One gets a key, one gets a head. So I'm glad we've had time to rank those, Sarah.
That was fun.
I know, don't you love little interactive elements?
Yeah. I love the puzzle.
Sorry. So Morgan says it's odd for an unsub to contact them in this way because it's essentially dragging the BAU into a fantasy that the unsub is having. A sexual fantasy. And I'm not entirely sure about this because I'm like, I don't think all serial killers have a sexual component to their murders, but hey, I'm not a profiler.
Me neither.
The team are also bringing up that it's odd that the unsub knows so much about them. That Gideon was a fan of Nellie Fox, the baseball player. How would the unsub know that he was Gideon's hero? JJ points out that she used to collect butterflies as a child. How does this unsub know this about her? These are random things that they wouldn't have shared with other people. And I'll be honest. You know when JJ's like, I used to collect butterflies as a child? I think that's a serial killer red flag. I think her being like, I used to pin dead insects to my wall. That's creepy.
Very creepy.
So I wouldn't be surprised if JJ one day ends up being a serial killer. That's one thing. Season 7. So the team are trying to figure out how the hell did you know this? Like, how would he know where Gideon's remote cabin was? How would he know what room Elle was staying in at this resort? Ooh. Garcia knows the answer. The FBI keeps all of that data on file.
No.
There are things in, like, psychological examinations and, you know, that would explain how they knew that Gideon was such a big Nellie Fox fan and JJ collected butterflies. Yeah. They also keep their locations on file at any time, which makes me think they know a bit too much about their agents. And also, there's a plot point in about 10 seasons' time, Sarah, where they very much do not know where one of their agents is at all times.
Oh, dear.
So Garcia admits that the reason the hacker was able to infiltrate the FBI system is because she was playing a game on her laptop, and that doesn't have as much security as the FBI. But because she was using the FBI's Wi-Fi, it managed to infect the other computers on the network. And Gideon really fucking blows up at her. And normally, I'm like, no, Gideon. Yeah. Garcia is in the right. But at this point, I love you, Garcia.
Yeah,
but I do think there needs to be some disciplinary action.
Yeah, she fucked up there.
Yeah. Like, aside from the fact that you shouldn't be playing games at work, this is a massive data breach. It could have put people in a lot of fucking danger. But Garcia reveals that she knows who it is. It's Frank Giles. God, his name seems to be coming up everywhere, doesn't it?
I don't.
Anyway, he's about 4 miles away, so everyone piles into the cars and goes down to raid.
Nice.
They rush to an apartment building that looks like it's never ever been cared for by the block management agency. What are the people that live there paying their service charge for? This is basically, it looks like it's a rundown apartment building from like Soviet era Belarus. Morgan and Elle are leading the raid, and Elle is practically screaming at this guy to come out, and I swear to God, if he wasn't already dead, spoiler alert, she would have killed him. I would support her in this. I support women's rights and women's wrongs. And I think that I would kill him too. Anyway, turns out I did the exact opposite of burying the lead because Frank Giles is dead. Lying on a bed in the middle of a room with a sword stabbed through his chest. Written on the wall, presumably in Giles's blood, is the message, "Here thy quest doth truly begin."
Ooh, how very medieval.
They determine that the real unsub instructed Giles to take Marty Harris down to Jamaica, kill him, frame Elle for murder, send the head to Gideon, the key to Reed, make a phone call to Hotch. Then Giles returns to the US, meets up with the unsub under the pretext of getting the payment, which is why there's a lot of money in a duffel bag right by Frank Giles. But why would someone want all this done? Why would the unsub leave all this money behind? Giles is dead. You may as well take your money back. Oh, it's never a good look when they're when they don't even take their money back. We'll be right back after this short break.
Welcome back. And Emma, would you like to continue?
Yes, I would. So Hotch asks, this guy is killing unrepentant bad men, his words. Are we looking at a vigilante? And Gideon says, I don't think so. These murders were essentially to pique our interest, to get us to save her, whoever she is.
Yeah.
Now, I can think of better ways to entice a group of people than framing one of them for murder, but what do I know? The writing on the wall is in blood. There's a lot of symbolism about that. But the phrasing of the message has changed from very modern, just save her, to this kind of medieval language, straight out of Chaucer. Morgan assesses that maybe this is the first time the unsub actually wrote the message, the previous ones being written by Frank Giles. A crime scene tech, Gina, she is crouching down beside the body and she notices that there's something written on the sword. You know, the sword that's plunged through Giles's chest.
Yeah.
Like it's... Essentially, it looks like Excalibur.
Oh.
Doesn't it? Like the true king can pull the sword of Excalibur. So the text on the sword reads, "To learn of what should next be done, leave the blade to the hour be none." This obviously confuses the team because what the fuck? Hotch says that the unsub has basically set Giles up as some sort of grotesque sundial. So they have to look at where the shadow falls when the hour be none, which is why the bed was placed in the middle of the room. Morgan asks, does that mean like midnight? That would be 0000 military time. And that would have been my guess, but as Hotch points out, there's no light at midnight, so it doesn't really cause a shadow. Cause a shadow at all. And now I'm thinking, wait, were sundials basically useless for like 8 hours of the day? What happened in that year without a sun?
What about in the like very north where they have polar night and then you're fucked? It's like permanently dark for like 3 months.
Yeah, I know. It's a good job we have clocks now, isn't it, Sarah?
I know. I'd be lost.
Anyway, back to the story. Luckily, Reed is there to tell them that the answer is 3 p.m. He got off the plane from Nevada and Garcia said, you may as well head straight to the crime scene. Good job. Because it turns out that 3 p.m. was called none in medieval times because the days were broken up in some sort of strange way. Could I reiterate exactly what he said? Yes. Would it make any more sense to me? No. So we're going to skip it. The team has more clues. They know that the medieval phrasing on the wall and the sword is not an accident. And Elle pleads with Reed to never go away again. And it's like, he was trying to, but somehow the case always finds you guys.
Yeah, it does.
So, thankfully, given that it's 4:30, Reed works out a way to mimic what the sun would look like and the shadow would look like at 3 p.m, rather than having to wait until tomorrow. And Morgan moves stuff out of the way so he can get to the wall where the shadow is and tap against the wall until he finds a hollow part. Poor Elle is more convinced than ever that she lives in an Indiana Jones movie. And Morgan taps on this flimsy drywall. He breaks it open with a box cutter to reveal a little chest inside, just for them. Also, I'd like to say that even if they were like, oh, we don't know where the shadow falls, it's a fairly small room. You could have just gone round all of the wall until you found something that was a bit hollow. Regardless, the team debate whether this little chest is a bomb, but decide that the unsub has had plenty of time to kill them while they've been there. Now, the box is locked. Morgan, as always, is like, shall I just break it open?
Why? Full of violence.
Yeah. And Hotch is like, maybe we log it first. But Gideon points out that Reed has the key. The youngest has the key. And Spencer pats down all of his pockets like he doesn't remember where this really ornate skeleton key is. I'll give you a hint, Reed. It's definitely not in your jeans pocket. Or not jeans. It's definitely not in your slacks pockets.
Nah.
Like, that's a really heavy key. He manages to find it and open the box. By the way, I had the show paused at this second, and you can see that Morgan essentially has a Motorola Razor phone clipped over his belt.
Oh, cute.
Which is just very funny.
That was adorable.
The music box is playing Schubert, the Trout Quintet, a song that I have only ever heard in this episode. And there's another note. Cool. Never would it be night, but always clear day to any man's sight. I was in the fucking mood.
No.
She is like, if I get one more medieval riddle from this guy. And it feels like she is about 2 seconds from putting her fist through an actual wall, not just drywall. And she's very sarcastic, like, well, that was worth it. It gets worse. In the lid of the music box, there is a hidden compartment with a DVD that is titled Thy Quest and a lock of blonde hair with a pink ribbon attached.
Creepy.
Now, without having the context of having seen the victim already, I would immediately be thinking, oh my god, he's kidnapped a child. Like, who cuts off some hair and then puts it in like a little bow?
Very creepy.
Weird.
Yeah.
This grown woman was not putting ribbon bows in her hair. They bag up the hair into an evidence bag and take the DVD back to headquarters for, I assume, the world's worst movie night. So the scene begins. It's the desk in the creepy mansion and the man just out of sight in the shadows. The team note that he looks like he's been injured, and he continues with a repetition of what they already know. I've kidnapped a young woman. I'm sending you on a medieval-style quest. Quite arrogantly, he even says that they may one day thank him for it.
Yeah, right, mate.
Wait, no.
Insufferable.
You may one day thank me for this? You've kidnapped a young woman. Now, they do see video footage of the young woman in her basement prison. Turns out she's being recorded down there. Creepier. The unsub says only the team members who have been invited to take part in the quest may be involved, and then lists all of them by name and flashes up the pictures that he's taken of them as he stalked them.
This guy's just getting creepier and creepier and blah.
Yeah. He tells them that they are going to receive another item, the final clue to finish the quest, and they will need a book that has long inspired adventures like this in order to solve it. Do you think it's Max Ryan's book?
Probably not.
Oh, okay. So now the team is getting the clues up on the board. Elle is not amused. She doesn't want to play this guy's game, but what choice do they realistically have? Wait for the girl to be murdered. Gideon leaves quite abruptly without saying anything. You know, just as typical for Gideon.
Yeah.
Hotch follows him, calling his name, and Gideon doesn't even respond. He doesn't turn around. He, in fact, goes into his office and slams the door behind him. So Hotch has to open it and be like, hi, are you okay? So Gideon is telling Hotch that he has nothing left, and Hotch thinks he's just talking about being exhausted. But Gideon's like, no, this guy was able to get to my cabin.
Yeah.
That is the only space I could exist without seeing all of the evil that we see on a daily basis.
Yeah.
That's been taken away from me.
That's sad. That broke my heart, that bit.
Yeah, it really was. Very sad. He asked to be left alone, and Hotch gives him that, stepping back into the bullpen as someone escorts Haley and Jack into the office. Someone showed up at the door of Hotch's house and gave Haley the final clue. She said a man came to the door with something he would need right away and that a girl's life depended on it. Hotch questions Haley about the man that came to the door. Did he seem injured? What did he look like? As he's doing this, he's rocking baby Jack back and forth in the pushchair. Like, oh, there's a bit of a disconnect between we think this man may have killed 2 people and kidnapped a young woman, and now he turned up on my doorstep to talk to my wife, but the baby's still fussing, so... Gideon and Hotch point out that this is not a normal delivery, and I don't know how Haley doesn't realise that. Like, you've signed for parcels before, right?
Yeah.
At no point did the delivery driver go, he needs this right away. He must save her. Back in the conference room, the team have the numerical code taped up on a crime board. It's just got numbers, but it doesn't feel like it follows any sort of code you could crack. Like, for instance, the numbers don't appear to be dates because the first number goes far beyond the amount of days in a month or the amount of months in a year for all the Americans listening. For instance, 82, 21, 2. It also doesn't appear to be one of those cryptograms that, because some of the numbers go up way higher than 26.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem to be related. It's not like you could be like, okay, so 7 equals E, and then fill in all the E's that way. Reed determines that this is a book code, so it requires each one of these sets of numbers represent a particular word. So page number, line number, and word number. Now, unfortunately, we have no idea what book this is based on.
Great.
So great. Reed says it actually gets worse than that because you would need the specific edition. And if you've ever been in a school class where you've been reading a book, you will know that about half of the group has a different version of the book because it's whatever the school district could get cheaply.
Yeah.
So your teacher will give you a thing going, hey, start reading from page 26, Achilles and then you'll have half the class being like, page 26 doesn't begin with Achilles for me. Can you tell that I read the Iliad in classics? Anyway, so Morgan is literally rubbing his hands over his head because how are they supposed to guess this, even narrowing it down to a medieval adventure book? Thankfully, the hair has turned up a DNA hit. Rebecca Bryant, who has been missing out of Boston for 2 years. Yes, 2 years. Is that how long she's been kidnapped for? Why is this guy reaching out now? She looks pretty well taken care of for someone that has been missing for 2 years.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we won't get to it until the next episode.
Beautiful.
Gideon is saying that Haley needs to sit down with a sketch artist to describe the man that dropped off the note at the door. And Gideon is going to have JJ put that sketch out on the news. Hotch rightly brings up, didn't the unsub say we had to keep this within the team? And Gideon is not having it. Frankly, he has exhausted all patience with the unsub. And now, say it with me, Sarah.
He's gonna rile him up.
He's gonna rile him up.
Yeah.
Oh, if there's one thing that Gideon is good at, it's saying that the guy who might be about to murder 20 people has a small dick.
Probably, yes.
As the team is trying to work out the code despite not knowing what book to go by, Gideon is ordering JJ to get reporters here for a press conference.
Nice.
And as JJ hosts the press conference, Hotch confirms to Gideon that Haley and Jack are staying in a hotel, presumably with FBI protection.
And I'd hope so too.
But guess who's watching the press conference, Sarah?
It's that creepy unsub.
It is in his creepy mansion, and he is very upset.
Oh, was she?
He uses the intercom to tell Rebecca that he has to go out. And I have to admit, I don't think she cares if you're going out, mate. What is she going to do? She's in a fucking dungeon.
She can't fucking escape.
You don't have to let her know when you're going out and when you'll be back.
Yeah.
So, cut back to the VAU. Morgan and Reed are trying to determine what book this could be from. Hotch asks how it's going, and the answer is not well, because how on earth could this possibly be going? Elle is asleep on the couch in the conference room, and Hotch says, I'm going to send you home. You need to sleep. And I think that's a weird choice. I think I would have sent her to the same hotel that my wife and child were at with the FBI protection. But what do I know? Now, especially because the unsub definitely has been in the files and definitely knows where she lives.
Yeah.
A thing you already know. Especially when you know that this guy is going to be riled up by the frickin' press conference. It's almost like you're intentionally sending her to die. She tries to protest, but the rest of the team are like, no, go get some rest. You are exhausted. You've been up for 86 hours. Get out of here. And I'm just spitballing here. But in police dramas, don't they often have, like, cots that you can sleep on in the office? Are you telling me nowhere in Quantico do they have, like, a sleeping area?
I think so.
I would think so, yeah. But Hotch is just like, absolutely not. You're going home. Anderson, she's in no position to drive herself. Anderson, get up. You're going to drive her home. Then Hotch updates a very despondent Gideon while the rest of the team try incredibly hard to figure out what the fuck is going on.
That's a question I ask myself at the same time.
And then you start to hear the opening notes of an early 2000s indie song. I haven't looked it up. I haven't looked up when it came out, but it did sound very much early 2000s hipster. So it's called Death Whispered a Lullaby by Opeth. And Elle is going inside her house, dumping her bags by the door, locking the door and collapsing onto a daybed that's just inside, as someone in shadow approaches her with a gun.
No.
It's the unsub, and he is very fucking annoyed. He says, I said that the team was the only people that were able to run this investigation. She tries to persuade him to stop and listen to her, and she reaches for her service weapon. He shoots.
No.
End credits. Oh no, Sara.
Fucking cliffhangers. I hate them.
This could be the end of Elle. What will the Greenaway fan club do?
Anyways, on that note, thanks for that, Emma. And we'll be back with the episode discussion after this short break. And welcome back. And now we're on to the episode discussion. So we're going to talk a bit about the episode, interesting points we found during the episode, notable guest stars we saw in this episode, and ultimately we will discuss our MVP, our pretty boy or pretty girl of this week. So, Emma, did you find any interesting points?
Yes, I did. So I'll go with my favourite interesting point, which is that Garner is the only unsub in the whole series of Criminal Minds to be played by two different actors. He's played by Charles Hayde in part 1 and by Charlie Rossman in part 2. I know. I think it helps that because he had all of the burn things. So essentially there was a lot of makeup on the actors, so it didn't really matter that they were getting in two different people.
And obviously in this episode we only saw like hands and shadow face.
Yeah, exactly.
So you couldn't really... Good idea though. I suppose.
And then when Garcia revealed that Frank Giles had hacked her system, she says he's in Arlington, Virginia, 4 miles away. Turns out Arlington is actually 40 miles south of Quantico. So just a bit of a difference there.
So the scriptwriter messed up on that one.
Exactly.
Just a tad. So, as most episodes, we generally get a profile of the unsub at some point. So obviously they first suspected Frank Giles, but they didn't have a profile of him. But then they didn't even have a profile of the other guy either. So viewers, the profile guys, your profilers, why are you not doing your job? And fun fact, the collector, so the book used by Garner as part of the quest, has provided inspiration for some other real-life serial killers. So we've got Leonard Lake, Charles Ng, Christopher Wilder, and Robert Berdello.
Yep. And if anyone knows anything about Leonard Lake and Charles Ng, I'm not looking forward to when we have to cover them on the podcast.
I don't know anything about him, but by the sounds of it, it sounds dodgy, so.
Yeah, I mean, none of the people we cover on the podcast are like, jovial friends.
Yeah, true. But some are less terrifying than others.
Yeah, some are less terrifying.
Mildly. Anyway, should we move on to notable guests?
Wait, I have one more. Okay. It's that there was only an opening quote this episode. There wasn't a closing quote.
Oh, maybe because it's a double part.
Maybe, yeah.
I suppose we'll find out in season 2.
Yes. Okay. So we are now on to notable guest stars. Yes. And I'm going first because I'm going to tell you about Jane Lynch.
Yay!
We only saw her in this episode for about 5 seconds.
Yeah.
But if you do not know who Jane Lynch is, I wonder if you have television in your house.
Yes.
Because she has been in a lot of things.
Yeah.
Most notably for people our age, I would say that she was Sue Sylvester in Glee.
Yeah, that's right.
Just an iconic role.
Iconic as fuck.
Yeah. Like, you would never forget her. Yeah. And for me, because I know that Sarah hasn't watched this program, but she plays Saz in Only Murders in the Building, and I love her in that as well.
I do need to watch that at some point.
Yes, we can watch it together.
Ooh, I would pencil that in.
Yes. She was also on the L Word. She was cast in the Broadway revival of Funny Girl in 2021, which is very cool. Yeah. And, of course, Jane Lynch is an iconic queer icon, and we love her.
So, Detective St. Pierre was played by an actor called Trevor Etienne. And while I didn't recognise him, I did some Googling. And turns out he played the role of Cola in Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl.
Okay, so the last one is Amanda Bonero. She is the daughter of Criminal Minds showrunner Edward Allan Bonero. And she reprises her character of Rebecca in season 10.
Oh.
Which you did not see coming, Sarah.
I did not.
No. But yeah, it's apparent that her dad takes on the showrunner role in season 2 through season, I think, 6. But yeah, this is pretty cool that she reprises the character in 10 years' time. Hello and welcome back to Looking for a Man in His 30s. Is this an odd place to take a break? Yes. We had to record on 2 separate days because Sarah had to leave early on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And we were going to pass it off like, no, this is the same day. We'll wear the same tops. But I've done my hair differently. Sarah's done her hair differently. And I'm not sorting out the light situation. So we are back to the part of the episode that we are actually debating over. So it's our baby girl or pretty boy of the episode. And now, normally, if there's any doubt or anyone that doesn't stick out to us, we put Elle in. But Sarah has put this quote in the doc. Most of them fucked up in one way or another. And I was a bit confused about that. I was like, fucked up? They went on a 2-week holiday. You consider that fucking up? So, Sarah, shall we go through them character by character?
Yes.
Okay, so, first, Hotch.
So, yes, he was spending time with his family.
Yeah.
He was trying to be a family man.
Yeah.
But then there were bits where
Gideon.
I'll give it to Hodge that he did go down to Jamaica to rescue Elle.
Yes.
And tell the Jamaican authorities to fuck off.
Yeah, and basically, like, could you do your job? Now, Garcia, I will admit, absolute major fuck up.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, there is no way Garcia's getting it, because are you kidding me?
100% fail.
We have ruled out Garcia.
Yeah.
Okay, Gideon, I do understand why he yelled at Garcia.
Yeah.
Because I would yell in that situation as well. Like, I'm just trying to have a nice time with my girlfriend, and suddenly there's a head at my door, and it's because you fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
So I do admit that I do understand, and I would probably shout as well.
Yeah.
But I don't feel that it was pretty boy material, you know?
Mm.
Yelling at a subordinate and almost making her cry.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll rule out Gideon.
Yeah.
Now,
see, he didn't feature a lot.
No.
And then he went to see his mum, but then didn't actually see her. So he's like, "What?"
Yeah, I didn't love that. So,
nah.
I mean, I understand it. It's a very difficult thing. Yeah. This might be the first time he's seen her since he got her committed.
Yeah.
But I am thinking it's perhaps not pretty boy material. So,
no.
Although he was called Pretty Boy in the episode by Morgan.
He was.
Okay. So, Reed, Garcia, Gideon.
No.
Okay.
Morgan,
he is just trying to have a nice time. He is flirting with some women on the beach. And then he does insert himself into the investigation in Jamaica to try and point out to them that they're wrong and Elle did not kill anyone.
Yeah.
So, Morgan, I'm thinking a contender. I can't think of anything that he did that I'd be like, oof, in this episode. Can you?
Not like a standout moment, no.
No. And he did get to boot down the door.
He did.
Which, as always, I mean, not like that would be a pretty boy contender, but I do like seeing him boot down a door.
Yeah. So currently it's a toss-up between Morgan and Hodge, I think.
What about JJ?
JJ...
I'll be honest, I don't really think she did anything.
Yeah, like, she wasn't really featured much.
She wasn't like a main character that was doing a lot of stuff. She received a butterfly and did a press conference, but that's basically
so she wasn't really a standout.
And also, I probably wouldn't give it to her because of I used to collect butterflies as a child. Like, I think that's one thing on the homicide triad. Okay, so we're going between Morgan and Hodge.
Yeah, because I don't think we can include Elle. Because, she was framed, but she didn't really help the situation.
I mean, I also would not help the situation.
No, but...
If someone came to my room, arrested me in the middle of the night, I would be screaming at them as well. Yeah.
But I'd be like questioning why, not just like being sarcastic with them and shouting at them.
I don't know. I found that quite funny.
It was funny.
I don't think it would help matters. If I was arrested abroad, I don't think it would help matters if I was sarcastic. I do think it's funny, and I might do it anyway. Okay, so yeah, and also, I mean, we do learn this in the next episode, but as Sarah's already seen the episode, it doesn't really matter. And as I assume this is no one's introduction to Criminal Minds, I will tell you that we do find out that Elle sent Anderson home because he was supposed to stay with her, and she was like, "No, go home." Now, granted, if I was Anderson, and even if she'd said go home, I would have been like, I'll sit outside in the car, actually.
Yeah.
Like, there is a killer on the loose. But I also don't think Anderson is a main enough character for me to be like, fucking Anderson.
Yeah. I just remembered why I said Hotch fucked up.
Okay, why?
So, he was aware that this guy knew the names of all of them.
Yes.
And had hacked into the computers, therefore he had access to the information of where they lived.
Oh, so he didn't.
But then he sent Elle home.
Yeah, actually.
Really, he should have sent her to a hotel.
Yes, with Haley and Jack.
Yes.
Like, you don't even have to, like, double up on security. Just be like, okay, well, you're going to be awake with the baby. We'll just put you in an adjoining room to Elle.
Yeah.
And there's a guard outside at all times.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay. So Hotch fucks up that way. Morgan, I know he agreed that Elle should have gone home, but I think that he wasn't the one that said specifically to her house. He was like, she needs to sleep. So I think I would say maybe we give it to Morgan then.
Yeah.
Yeah?
He seems like the best option.
Yeah. And I do like seeing him boot down the door.
Me too.
He was able to handle the situation. He was able to, like, steer the Jamaican police as to, hey, what the hell? So, to be clear, most people are murdered by someone they know. You can't get hold of the guy that came with this murdered man. And do you think it was some woman who came in from America that day?
Yeah.
The math's not mathing.
No.
So I do think that was good. Yeah. So Morgan.
Morgan it is.
Okay. Our pretty boy of the week is Morgan, because he is really good at handling a situation that is insanely stressful. He is the one you want in your corner if something's going wrong.
Yeah. And who doesn't love a poof FBI?
Oh my god. I think there are actually montages on YouTube, but just Morgan kicking down a door. So we'll be right back with the True Crime Recap after this short break.
Yeah.
Welcome back to our True Crime Recap. Sarah, it's time to deliver the profile.
Thank you. So, as avid fans will be aware, this episode has a part 2. Do not fret. But it does conclude in the next season, so you'll have to wait a bit for our analysis on that one. So, the true crime cases relating to the main unsub will be featured in that episode, so you will have to stay tuned for that one. However, today we'll be looking at the one that they initially thought was the unsub, which is Frank Giles. So, trying to focus on a case similar to his crimes, I was looking around and thought, well, the fact that he mailed the head to Gideon is probably the best avenue to find somebody like who did similar stuff. Disgusting, yeah, I know. So, looking around, I found the case of Luka Magnotta. So, Luka Rocco Magnotta was born Eric Clinton Kirk Newman on July 24th of 1982 in Scarborough, Ontario in Canada, to Anna Yorkin and Donald Newman, and he was the first of 3 children to the couple. His mother was obsessed with cleanliness and often locked the children out of the house. His father was a schizophrenic, and soon after his diagnosis in 1994, he and his wife divorced. It was around this time where 12-year-old Magnotta moved in with his grandmother Phyllis. He attended IE Weldon Secondary School in Lindsay, Ontario. He would later then be diagnosed with schizophrenia himself. And due to his condition, he received disability allowance from the government, but would earn extra money on the side from male prostitution. At the age of 21 in 2003, he began appearing in gay pornographic films, whilst also working as a stripper. He was featured in a 2005 issue of Toronto's gay magazine Fab as a pin-up model under the pseudonym Jimmy.
And if it had just continued like this, it would have been fine.
Yeah. And around this time is when he was arrested and convicted of impersonation and fraud But he didn't spend time in prison. Instead, he just served 12 months probation. In 2006, he legally changed his name to what we now know him as, is Luka Magnotta. Sadly for him, he was very unsuccessful in his porn and modelling career, and he filed for bankruptcy in 2007, owing $17,000 in various debts. He then tried his hand at a number of TV shows in order to try and advance his career. He competed in Out TV's reality model show Cover Guy. In this show, the winner would receive $1,000, a fitness club membership, they would take part in a fashion photo shoot, and be featured on the front cover of a magazine.
Hey.
However, he was unsuccessful during this and did not win. A year later, he had multiple cosmetic surgeries and auditioned for Slice Network's show Plastic Makes Perfect. Didn't win on that one either, so what a shame.
I mean, I think I would posit that perhaps a public-facing career is not for him.
Probably not.
Maybe try something else.
Yeah.
But also, I think that, see, he was quite young when he actually began in sex work, so I don't think that that's great for your mental health, because that quite tightly ties the amount you're able to earn and which would seem like your worth to how you look and how you... So him not getting all these sex work roles or competitions or whatever led to the quite extreme plastics. Actually, was it quite extreme plastic surgery?
He never said. He just said he got a few surgeries.
I think getting a few surgeries in your 20s is somewhat extreme.
So Magnotta was obsessed with portraying himself as a successful model and a prominent porn star online. Therefore, he created many profiles across social media sites and forums. Police would later find 70 Facebook pages and 20 websites under different names that he would use to... How do I word this? He would sing his own praises. Or spread false information in order to attract attention to himself. So, like, he'd post, say, a photo, and then on these other sites, he'd comment saying, "Oh my god, you look gorgeous," and all this shit. You know, like, something like that.
So he was, like, commenting on his own pictures?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Right, has he not heard of bot farms?
Obviously
not.
It'd
be much easier to just fucking pay for that than to log into, like, 70 different Instagram accounts and comment on your own photo.
Crazy guy. But I suppose back then, that wasn't a thing.
What year is this?
Like, you're talking like 2008.
Oh yeah, okay, that's
2009.
Yeah.
You have to do the old school way. A former lover, Nina Arsenault, later described him as self-destructive and a manipulative liar. And now we get onto the sad bit. Well, the first sad bit.
Yeah, the failed porn career was actually the uplifting part of the story.
Yeah, it just goes downhill from here. So, strap in, guys.
It starts at failed porn career and goes quickly south.
Yeah.
Which is not often the way stories go.
Are you buckled in? Are you ready?
Go on.
So, in 2010, he posted a video on YouTube titled "One Boy, Two Kittens," plus many other videos of cats being unalived. I'll spare you the details of what the videos actually contain.
Yeah, spare me the details.
I will. I have seen one of them. Well, I've heard of one of them. Yes, I have. Well, I haven't seen the full video. I've seen a clip of beforehand. Yeah, just let's not go there. Anyway, moving swiftly on. So the following year, in 2011, he was identified as the person responsible for the videos by members of a private Facebook group. They'd identified him and put his name to the police.
Good for them.
Yeah.
And also good for them not turning into a vigilante mob, as I would have been tempted to do. Oh, we put his name and address.
He did. So, the police investigation that ensued was featured in the 2019 Netflix true crime docuseries Don't Fuck with Cats, Hunting an Internet Killer. Now, I've seen this. Have you seen this?
No, of course not.
Do not.
I vaguely knew what it was about and I avoided it.
Yeah. Well, I initially avoided it. I did watch
Yeah, but
it.
you did research for this crime, whereas I didn't.
Yeah. But I did watch this last year.
Okay.
So then when I was researching, I was like, oh, hang on a minute. This is the same guy.
Yeah.
What the fuck? So then we get on to the worst part. If you thought that was bad, this is even worse. On May the 29th, 2012, 33-year-old John Lynn was reported missing. He was last seen on May the 24th, and his boss became suspicious a day later when he didn't turn up for work. Friends visited his apartment on May 27th to no avail. Although I do question why they didn't raise the alarm then, instead of raising the alarm days later. Surveillance cameras would later show that Lynn and Magnotta entered Magnotta's apartment building on the 24th of May. So the day
he was seen last.
That he was last seen.
Mm-hmm.
Then, this is the dodgy bit. An 11-minute video titled One Lunatic, One Ice Pick was uploaded to Canadian shock site Best Go, showing Lynn tied to a bed frame. He was repeatedly stabbed with what looked like an ice pick and a kitchen knife. The ice pick was later found to be a screwdriver. Not that that makes it any better. Also shown in the video was Lynn's body being dismembered and the perpetrator committing an act of necrophilia. I'm not going to tell you what the act. Like when I researched it did tell me the act, but I am not telling you because I don't want to traumatize you.
Yeah,
so I'll let you imagine.
Thanks for that. Yeah, if you'd like to find out more about that necrophilia, you can read the links that Sarah will put in the chat in the description.
Be prepared, it is very disgusting. Anyways, what wasn't shown in the video was the actual murder. It came to light during investigations that Lynn's throat had been cut before the stabbings were shown in the video. Therefore, he was already dead when the stabbings occurred.
I mean, I guess that's better. Not sure.
Still does.
I don't know how we rank these things.
Nah, me neither. Then, hours after killing Lynn, Magnotta booked a round-trip flight from Montreal to Paris, using his own passport in his own name. So, just kind of makes it easier to find you. Could have thought that them through, but...
I mean, was his face in the video at all? Oh, wait, no,
No, he didn't. I don't think he showed his face.
Yeah.
But when they did find out that it was him, it was easy to track him because, like, oh, he flew to here and yada yada. Anyway, moving swiftly on. On May the 25th, police identified Magnotta from the surveillance footage outside his apartment on Decarie Boulevard. It was discovered he had moved into the apartment 4 months prior, and he'd paid his rent up front up until June the 1st. Upon searching the inside of the residence, police discovered it was mostly empty. However, blood was found on a mattress, the fridge, the table, and the bath. Inside a closet, a phrase was written in red ink saying, "If you don't like the reflection, don't look in the mirror. I don't care."
Okay.
Yeah, very weird. On May the 26th, a Montana attorney attempted to report the video of Lynn being attacked to Toronto police, his local sheriff, and the FBI. But the report was dismissed by all officials.
What? No. If someone is like, hey, there's a video of a man being tortured and it's on the internet, here's the link.
Yeah.
If you're just not clicking on the link?
I think they said later on they only acknowledged that it was an actual, like the actual attack when they'd identified the victim. So, up front, they didn't take any notice of the report. They dismissed it completely.
Okay, so ace work by the police there.
This is where it gets pretty similar to the case of the Frank Giles in the episode. So, May 29th, a foul-smelling, blood-stained package was delivered to the national headquarters of the Conservative Party of Canada. Inside was a human left foot. And
and I suppose the police took it more seriously then?
Probably did. Alongside the foot was a note stating that 6 body parts had also been distributed.
Right. Yeah. So that's hands, feet, head.
You'll find out as I go. It gets more disgusting as we go. Another package containing a left hand was intercepted at a Canada Post processing warehouse addressed to the Liberal Party.
Oh, what a win for bipartisanship.
Yeah. Luckily, they didn't receive it. They'd been intercepted before it got to them, but nevertheless, still fine. A torso was then found in a suitcase behind an apartment building in Montreal by a janitor. Footage from inside the building showed a man carrying out numerous bin bags, and the same man was also spotted on CCTV at a post office in the Côte-des-Neiges area of Montreal. Investigations began then, headed by Peter Lambrinakos. An arrest warrant was issued by the Montreal City Police Service and was later upgraded to a Canada-wide warrant by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. As Magnotta had escaped from the country, Interpol then became involved and issued a red notice requesting that if he's found, he be provisionally arrested before being extradited back to Canada. Investigations in France uncovered a phone signal being traced back to a hotel in Bagnolet in the suburbs of Paris. He'd used a fake passport at the hotel under the name Kirk Trammell. Now, why didn't he try and travel with that one? Because then that would have kind of like prevented him.
Well, I suppose there's more security on whether or not that's a real passport when you're going through like actually security at an airport.
True. And the hotel is like, that'll be.
Yeah, they're just like, yeah, let's photocopy that for the records anyway.
Yeah. So they traced him back to this hotel. But then he was found to have headed to Berlin, Germany on a Eurolines bus. So
yes,
traveling to Germany to find him. So you'll be thankful to know that on June the 4th, authorities finally caught up with Magnotta. When he was arrested by Berlin police at an internet cafe in the Neukölln district of Berlin, while he was reading news articles about himself online. Narcissistic much. Anyway, so a day later, on the 5th of June, he made an appearance at a Berlin court. And at the same time, a package containing a right foot was delivered to St. George's School, and another package containing a right hand was sent to False Creek Elementary School, both in Vancouver, British Columbia, in Canada. And it was found that both packages had been sent across country from Montreal. On June the 13th, the 4 limbs and the torso were identified as belonging to John Lynn, using DNA samples from his family, who had arrived in Montreal a week earlier. Magnotta was handed over to Canadian authorities in Berlin on June the 18th and flown back to Canadian soil. Just under 2 weeks later, Lynn's head was finally recovered at the edge of a lake in Angry-Non Park in Montreal. On July the 11th, Lynn's family were finally permitted to lay their son to rest. His recovered remains were cremated and his ashes were buried in Montreal's Notre-Dame-des-Neiges cemetery. During investigations, Canadian media named Magnotta the Canadian Newsmaker of the Year, which understandably caused controversy.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck were they thinking?
My God.
I know. Magnotta's trial date was finally set for September of 2014. On September the 29th, in a court in Quebec, Magnotta pleaded not guilty to the charges against him. which included first-degree murder, committing an indignity to a dead body, publishing obscene material, and mailing obscene, indecent, immoral, or scurrilous material.
I think that feels like a bit fucking light.
Yeah.
I mean, mailing obscene material sounds like you just put a porn magazine and you sent that to an elementary school. Like, this is full on dead body parts. That should be a more serious category of crime.
You think? So his not guilty plea was put forward on account of his schizophrenia. He'd also been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder and histrionic personality disorder also. Following a 12-week trial, the jury then took 8 days to deliberate before returning a verdict of guilty on all charges. Magnotta was sentenced to life in prison plus 18 years for other charges, to be served concurrently. However, he is eligible for parole after 25 years, which means that he may be out as soon as 2039. So, Emma, would you like to move on to the next section?
Yeah, I'd actually much rather talk about that. Okay, so the next section is What Would Penelope Garcia Do? This is a section of the podcast where we link people with resources that can help them, or a cause that relates to the episode in some way, that you can either get support for you if you need it, or that you can support through donations, through promoting them on social media, through signing petitions, etc., etc., etc. And for this episode, so there was only really one thing that stood out. I mean, obviously there's the abduction of Rebecca, but that gets covered more in the next episode.
Yeah.
So we chose to focus on if you've been arrested abroad, because if you're going somewhere on holiday, it can be somewhere that has different laws, like having unmarried sex, or drinking, or being gay. Those can be things that you definitely would not expect to be arrested for back home, but in other parts of the world you can be. And also it can be the thing where especially if you're going to a place with a different language, you may be being interrogated in a language that you only basically know how to order a coffee and your meal in. So we have chosen to highlight what you should do just in case you are arrested abroad. Yeah. So, Sarah, do you want to take it away with the UK?
Yeah, we'll do. So, just a few pointers at first. If you are arrested abroad, immediately request to contact the British Embassy or the consulate. Demand an interpreter if you're in a non-English speaking country. And do not sign any documents that you do not understand. As at home, you also have the right to consult a lawyer, the right to remain silent, and the right to access medical attention if necessary. So there's a few places I've found that can provide support and help. So there's Justice Abroad, who can provide legal, diplomatic, investigation and media advice. You can find them at justiceabroad.co.uk, or you can contact them on +44 203 488 2316. There's also Prisoners Abroad, which helps British nationals in prison abroad and their families with support and advice. Information about them can be found at prisonersabroad.org.uk. They have a UK helpline and an international helpline. So your parents or your family at home can contact, or you can if you're abroad. So for the UK helpline, the number is 0808 172 0098. The international number is +44 20 7561 6820. And for both helplines, lines are open Monday to Friday 9:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and this is UK time. You can also contact the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office from anywhere in the world if you're concerned that the local authorities haven't contacted the embassy or the consulate. Their lines are open 24/7. The number is +44 20 7008 5000. And Emma, over to you for the US.
Thank you, Sarah. So the information that I've got is from travel.state.gov. And in case of an arrest abroad, ask the police force who arrests you to immediately notify the US Embassy or consulate in that country. You can also reach out to the US Embassy or consulate yourself to let them know that you have been arrested or detained. The consulate will be able to help, especially if you are not familiar with the language, the customs, or the laws. They will provide a list of local attorneys that speak English, and they can also reach out to family, friends, employers in the US to be like, this is what's happened. Obviously, they're not coming home when they said they would. They can also arrange for the consulate to visit the US citizen on a regular schedule, presumably to make sure that you're doing okay. They will also bring stuff like reading materials, vitamin supplements, and they will request that local officials do provide you with adequate medical care. And they also will provide an overview for you of how the criminal justice process works in that country. They can also arrange for you to see a member of the clergy of your religion if you wish, and they can help family and friends send money to the detained US citizen, which they may need for stuff like hiring a lawyer or etc., etc., perhaps for bail money as well. So the Office of the Special Presidential Envoy for Hostage Affairs provides information on how the Department of State can help you in the case of a wrongful detention abroad. But as always, it is best to double check on the laws in the country before you go.
Yeah.
So that you are not surprised if you're trying to buy alcohol and someone arrests you.
And as always, any links that we've mentioned, we'll put in the show notes later. And on that note, that's all for this week and this season. But stay tuned, we will be back with season 2 later this year. And I hope you enjoyed season 1 just as much as we have.
Yes, it's been very fun doing this together over the past year, Sarah.
And yes, we're still learning as we go, but
yes,
we're having fun, and that's the main part.
Exactly, and it's nice for us to do something together. Seeing as we live so far apart, we don't often get the chance to actually...
No.
Before this, we would perhaps watch TV one night a week and watch that at the same time.
And then see each other in person like once every 3 years or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's been nice to do this project together.
It has.
While you're waiting for the next episode, why not follow us on social media? We're on Instagram at Looking for a Man His 30s Pod, Tumblr at Looking for a Man His 30s Pod, or you can email us at lookingformanhis30s@gmail.com. Yeah, I couldn't get the social handles to match, sorry. All 3 times 30s is spelled out. Don't put 30, or you might get one of those bots that Instagram clearly thinks we are.
And you can also rate and review us on whichever platform you're using to listen to podcasts. And sorry for the cliche, but if you are watching us on YouTube, please like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell notifications. It really helps.
Until next time.
This case is closed.